Welcome to Tesla Global, the home of the latest Tesla news. Today we take a look at Tesla Megapack behind first of 10 plus big batteries as NSW prepares to retire coal plants. Also, self-driving cars move forward. Can we say the same for epileptic driving rights? Tesla plans to appeal $137 million payout in race discrimination case. And finally, Tesla and Jaguar Land Rover partner in CO2 to avoid EU emission fines. Let's get into the video. Tesla Megapack behind first of 10 plus big batteries as NSW prepares to retire coal plants. Tesla Megapacks will store power for the 50 megawatt/75 megawatt hours Walgrove battery in New South Wales, NSW. Transgrid subsidiary Lumia will build the Walgrove battery in Western Sydney. Tesla Megapacks will enable the Walgrove battery to deliver synthetic inertia to the local grid. The big battery will also operate in virtual machine mode, according to Renew Economy. The Walgrove battery can reduce the grid's need for aging coal and gas plants with synthetic inertia. In fact, the Walgrove battery is the first of more than 10 big batteries that will be built across NSW as the state prepares to retire its coal fleet. Other big batteries have been proposed by AGL Little, by Mounting at Sunraysia and Lismore, and by Origin Aireri. Neon, which owns the Hornsdale Power Reserve and the Victoria Big Battery, has proposed some projects in NSW, too. Both the Hornsdale Power Reserve and the Victoria Big Battery use Tesla Megapacks. Tesla Megapacks are sold out through the end of next year due to high demand. In its Q3 2021 update letter, Tesla reported that its energy deployments were up, mainly because of Megapack deployments. Tesla is building a Megapack factory to increase its production capacity and address high demand for its battery storage units. Energy storage deployments increased by 71% YoY in Q3, mainly driven by strong Megapack deployments. We recently announced our new Megapack factory with a capacity of 40 gigawatt hours, which compares to total Megapack deployments of 3 gigawatt hours in the last 12 months. We are very excited about the broader potential of this product, Tesla wrote in its update letter. Self-driving cars move forward. Can we say the same for epileptic driving rights? The future of autonomous vehicles is almost a certainty. But for people with seizures and epilepsy who are dependent and reliant on having transportation for their day-to-day activities, it is anything but. The self-driving cars of the future could offer independence and freedom for those who are not legally able to obtain a driver's license due to their medical conditions. However, as the autonomous vehicles of the future approach with every passing day, it seems that the states and laws that surround epilepsy and driving may need re-examining, especially as companies like Tesla move toward a future involving self-driving cars. Laws regarding epilepsy and driver's licenses vary from state to state. However, what may be more striking than the fact that those who suffer from seizures are rarely granted driving privileges is the fact that many states have not started to prepare for a future with them on the road as passengers. The simple fact is that companies are moving closer and closer to solving autonomy every single day. Legislation has not moved forward at the pace of autonomy, which begs the question, what if self-driving cars come before those with epilepsy have the right to operate them? According to the California Department of Motor Vehicles, what lies ahead for autonomy really depends on the companies that handle the issue. For companies like Tesla, the goal is obvious: create a car that can take away the hassle of driving and make things safer for more people. However, some of the companies involved in the fight for autonomous vehicles may not realize the act of service they are doing for those who have not had the opportunity to drive or operate a motor vehicle due to a neurological condition. The California DMV told Teslarati that it allows those with epilepsy or conditions involving seizures to be evaluated by the state to ensure they remain safe behind the wheel. If you lose consciousness for a short period of time, you can also lose control of your vehicle, which can result in serious accidents or death, the California DMV writes on its website. Those who are interested in obtaining a driver's license will undergo an evaluation, which uses the lapse of consciousness consolidation table as a benchmark to determine whether a person seems capable of driving a vehicle. Obviously, whether the person receives driving privileges or not is completely dependent on the symptoms, severity, and causes of their condition. The chart is extensive and uses 10 pages of tables to evaluate a potential driver, leaving no room for personal interpretation or gray areas. Additionally, provisionally available license grants are possible depending on a lapse of time in between episodes. However, it requires full medical transparency from the driver, including regular check-ins that are technically written and law-abiding statements. Falsifying the status of one's condition can ultimately result in the suspension and possible revocation of a driver's license. While all of these details provide some color to the potential rights of those who would be interested in obtaining the privilege to drive a vehicle, there is still a major miscommunication on the potential of what self-driving cars could do for people who are not eligible for a license. Additionally, it could benefit some drivers who may be fit to drive but are uncomfortable with disclosing medical information with relation to the HIPAA Act. When Level 5 autonomy is reached by a company, laws and legislation will have to be written or revised to include those who would like to have their vehicle drive them to a destination. Unfortunately, while companies chip away and move closer to this goal, the lack of knowledge on the part of DMVs at the current time was shocking. Relatively no detail was given by the California DMV, where Tesla was located until late September. Meanwhile, Waymo and Pony.ai still call California home in Mountain View and Fremont, respectively. While the evaluation process is clear and concise, it only takes into account the instances where those with epilepsy would be able to drive a car, and not in the instance that a car drives itself. Essentially, the preparedness of government agencies to cater to those with disorders could result in even more time wasted for those who are affected. The status of the self-driving industry is also moving forward at a tremendous rate. Tesla is expanding its full self-driving beta program and is focusing on gathering more data with the help of its beta fleet to make its neural network more robust. Waymo is launching somewhat successful moves toward autonomous driving, and Pony.ai is launching robotaxis in Beijing. States need to begin working toward clarifying the situation between self-driving cars and the epileptic. There is too much room for interpretation currently, and the issue is much more serious than just hitching a ride. The revolutionary change that has already started occurring with electric cars will see something extremely similar with self-driving vehicles, a lack of understanding and infrastructure that could potentially delay progression and derail advancement in the way people with neurological disorders get from place to place. Tesla plans to appeal $137 million payout in race discrimination case. Tesla is planning to appeal the verdict reached by a Northern District of California jury, which required the automaker to pay out nearly $137 million to Owen Diaz, a former Fremont factory contract employee who stated he suffered racial abuse in the production facility. On October 4, 2021, a jury found Tesla liable for emotional distress and punitive damages, valuing the payout to Diaz at $6.9 million and $130 million, respectively. Diaz said that employees drew racially sensitive logos and graffiti around and near the plant and also used racial slurs in the facility. Tesla issued a statement regarding the verdict of Diaz versus Tesla on the day of the judgment, stating that 3 witnesses apart from Diaz noted that they heard the use of racial slurs regularly, but that all of the witnesses agreed that the use of some derogatory terms was not appropriate in the workplace. However, they also stated that most of the time they thought the language was used in a friendly manner and usually by African American colleagues. Diaz made complaints to non-Tesla supervisors and didn't make any complaints about the N-word until after he was not hired full-time by Tesla, and after he hired an attorney. Tesla VP of People Valerie Capers-Workman wrote in a blog post. Capers-Workman also indicated that while living with his children, Diaz recommended they work at Tesla with him, despite the complaints of racial hostility and harassment at the Fremont factory. While we strongly believe that these facts don't justify the verdict reached by the jury in San Francisco, we do recognize that in 2015 and 2016 we were not perfect. We're still not perfect. But we have come a long way from 5 years ago. We continue to grow and improve in how we address employee concerns. Occasionally, we'll get it wrong, and when that happens we should be held accountable, she added. Now, Tesla said in a 10-Q filing with the SEC that it will appeal the decision. The company wrote. On October 4, 2021, in a case captioned Diaz v. Tesla, a jury in the Northern District of California returned a verdict of $136.9 million against Tesla on claims by a former contingent worker that he was subjected to race discrimination while assigned to work at Tesla's Fremont factory from 2015 to 2016. The company does not believe that the facts and law justify the verdict and intends to pursue next steps in post-trial motions and on appeal. Tesla and Jaguar Land Rover partner in CO2 to avoid EU emission fines. Tesla will have a new addition to its CO2 pool in Jaguar Land Rover, which will help the latter company avoid hefty fines for not reaching target emissions goals set by the European Union. Due to the ongoing climate crisis, European regulators are requiring large automakers to adopt climate-friendly vehicles within their fleet, which will bring down the emissions that the automaker contributes to the environment. However, some car companies are not necessarily up to speed on the adoption to electrification, which makes their ability to decrease emissions more difficult as they are still only manufacturing combustion engine vehicles. This gives automakers like Tesla the opportunity to pool their sales on the continent with other automakers for a fee. Tesla has partnered with Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and Honda in 2019 and 2020, respectively, to help the two car manufacturers reach the EU's targets for emissions. This year, the partnership will be with Jaguar Land Rover, according to Schmidt Automotive Research, run by Matthias Schmidt, who also publishes the European Electric Car Report. Schmidt's research said. According to latest exclusive Schmidt Automotive Research and European Commission data, Tesla have found a new partner to join its EU CO2 pool for 2021. British-based and Tata-owned Jaguar Land Rover intend to form a CO2 pool with the Elon Musk-run company for 2021, alongside Honda that were part of Tesla's pool last year. Interestingly, Jaguar Land Rover could be willing to derail the CO2 compliance targets to help underlying profits from higher emissions vehicles that are more profitable in an attempt to salvage some profitability as the global semiconductor shortage continues. Schmidt writes that it would likely hurt the company's financials to scrap its higher profitability vehicles just to meet emissions targets. Jaguar Land Rover failed to meet EU CO2 goals last year, which set the company back around £35 million in fines. Tesla has accumulated around $1.15 billion in regulatory credits so far this year, including credits from the US, China, and Europe, the report said.